it. In a lot of parts of the world, young people don't need to save for 3 years to buy something. They are able to access credit and pay it off little by little. They are able to access credit for businesses, amongst other things. The credit situation in Africa is mainly driven by the risky nature of the financial markets. So what happens is, number one issue is identification. You are not able to identify people, we are not able to track people. And so the banks are very averse to giving out credit because there are a lot of non-performing loans that come out of these kinds of transactions. And one of the things that we need to do to solve that is to solve the issue of identity in Africa. In the world, there are about 500 million people without identity, actually in Africa, who do not have verifiable identity. And so if you come to an institution and you ask them to give you money, and they will not be able to find you after this, it poses a great problem. In Ghana, one specific intervention that has changed access to credit and is going to cause a lot of more benefits in terms of access to credit for young people is the introduction of our national ID, which is pretty new. And so previously, for students to be able to access loans to pay for their fees and their upkeep while they are in school, they would need a guarantor who was signed onto the social security scheme. And because of this, a lot of students were not able to access credit. Now, with the introduction of the national ID card in Ghana, students do not need a guarantor and your applications can be processed in a very short period of time. And so now the Student Loan Trust Fund can serve up to 60% of the applications as opposed to 10% of them. And this is also going to reflect in terms of banking and other services as well. So the issue of identity and verifiable identity is something that's very important to solve the issues of credit that we have and allow the banks to put out money. In terms of intellectual property, we need to see that that is an intersection of law together with technology. And the good thing about technology is when you come in from a different area and maybe you come in from business, you come in from law, you are able to bring the benefits from those areas and innovate with the technology tools that we have. And so intellectual property, data protection, like Raymond mentioned, is also being developed across the continent as well. When it comes to political promises, if anybody who has worked, with all due respect to all the government representatives here, anybody who has worked with governments for the shortest period of time needs to know that if you have something to do quickly and you can do it without having to wait for the government, then you should go ahead and do it. The thing about the technology area is that we do not have to wait for the government to do a lot of these things that we need to do. You don't need to wait for the government to create a YouTube channel. I know people with 500,000 YouTube subscribers who started with a very small smartphone with a blurry camera, and they've been able to grow a very large customer base. There are people who teach people courses online with just a small device that they have, and they are able to grow these things. The thing about technology is it removes the gatekeepers. Previously, news had to be published from radio stations with licenses and a lot of things, but today, I have about 98,000 followers on Twitter. I can just post something and it goes to 98,000 people about. And so the gatekeepers who used to handle and control the power around these resources that we needed in order to be able to do what we need to do have been removed by technology. And so we as the youth have to see it and take advantage of what we can take advantage of and create solutions and build things. Let's work together and solve some of the problems that we have. For example, credits. Crowdfunding solutions and legislation is being rolled out across different countries. If you find 200 people who can give you, I don't know how to calculate in shillings, so maybe $1 each. No, $1 will be a little small. Maybe 200 people who can give you $10. That's 2,000 cedis, right? $2,000. You should be able to do something with that and then give them a share of it. And so crowdfunding is part of our culture in Africa, but we haven't yet been able to raise and get the full benefit of it in terms of technology. But with technology, we will not need to go to the bank for credit. When you find enough people who believe in what you want to do, they can put money together for you to be able to implement what you need. Thank you.